Possibility of me sharing my screen. Is that possible? I can do that now.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Beautiful. I'll get this set up, gang, and then we'll get straight into it. So beautiful. So thanks so much for having me. Just before I get into the training, I understand that some of you might be quite new to Herbalife Nutrition and the business. I'm going to be talking tonight as if you are all on the call with the intention to advance your business. If that's not you, no problem, then you'll enjoy the stories, you'll enjoy listening to the next hour or so, but I really am talking to those on the call that really want to make that progress in their business, because that's where I was when I looked at this opportunity. And I understand some of you are quite new to the business. I still consider myself quite new. It's only been 4 years since I got started as a registered member. And I still think that's very, very fresh in the world of Herbalife Nutrition. So I don't claim to have all the answers at all, but all I will share tonight is 100% authentically my journey to the Millionaire Team and some of the key shifts that I made to really locking into my next position in the marketing plan together with my partner Lee. And, you know, to be honest, when I heard the marketing plan for the first time, those fancy terms and names didn't really mean much to me. I didn't understand them at the time. So I guess for the new guys on the call, that's okay. But what I've learned what's evolved over time is each position on the marketing plan has reflected a huge personal role in my life, in my personal goals, in what I've been able to contribute, in what I've been able to create. And I've learned that from going to major events and really understanding the power of this business and what it can actually offer. So if you're all ready, pens and papers hopefully out. I understand if there's a few mums or people on the call that have other commitments, you might be multitasking right now, but if you can be present with a hot tea and a pen, I recommend you do that and just invest this next hour in yourself whilst I share as much as I possibly can for you guys. So just a thumbs up if that's okay. We ready to go? Solid. All right. So I'll introduce you to myself before Herbalife. This is me. My background was a personal trainer. On the left there, I was 19 years old and I was 1 year into running my own personal training business. I loved the health and fitness industry for what the lifestyle looked like it would deliver to me. I studied exercise science at university, and in my second year, I was just itching to get out and work. And find a career path. And I didn't actually know that business and working for myself was actually going to be that platform at all. But I was just attracted to the fitness and health industry, I guess how most people are attracted to the careers they love or the passion projects that they enjoy. And I wound up in personal training. And to be honest, the attraction was honestly the thought that I could create some time freedom, work for myself, and have a lot of fun. I learned very quickly, being a solo personal trainer, that traditional business isn't that simple and you don't just get given the success on a silver platter and you have to work for it. So I did. I built quite a successful, what you would seem to be successful personal training business. As you can see, I had group sessions and plenty of personal training, contracted trainers working for me. Lee joined me in the business as well. He had a background in carpentry and I'll share a bit about that later. But from the outside, it would have looked like we were quite successful. And I thought I was quite successful because I was working hard, I was showing up, and I was trusting that opportunity to one day deliver a promise. And that promise I was hoping was some sort of financial progress, a career that could set me up financially and give me that independence. Because at this stage, I was still living at home with my parents. And I was in my mid-20s when I really started to think about some of my personal goals and want to start to achieve them, like buying my own house or, like I said, creating that independence for myself. And I really honestly thought that this industry and this business was going to be the vehicle to take me there. But I learned very quickly that it wasn't going to happen at the rate I wanted. And the typical saying was, if you're in traditional business, you've got to wait 5 years before you can make a profit, or you've got to wait 10 years before you can make some serious progress. So I was kind of at this crossroad where I was faced with either I get a job in addition to building my business so I can start to make some progress with my goals, or I searched for a different way. So that curiosity and that openness was always there. I was never really confident and certain with this as a career long term. And just briefly, obviously when I was introduced to Herbalife, the first thing I did was try the nutrition. So I'll touch on my product experience here is that, I wasn't someone that needed to lose a whole heap of weight. I was already fit and active. And obviously I thought I knew it all as well about health and nutrition, having worked in the industry and had a background in exercise science. I didn't think there was a place for Herbalife for me. And I knew of Herbalife before I was invited down to actually take a proper look. And to be honest, my perception was that it was all just about a product. And I kind of got lost with the range of different products that you can get out there. But it wasn't until I came down to an event and I actually sat in the room and listened to the stories of people sharing their health results, as well as the stories of people sharing their financial progress. That's what really changed my perception of what this actually was. And I started to think a bit differently about it. I started to see that there was certainly more than just a nutrition program at hand. So I got on the nutrition products, the Ultimate program. I really gave it my best shot to test drive the stuff. And as someone that I thought was already quite fit and healthy, you can see on the left there, I still had my party habits in play, even as a personal trainer. But not just from the products, but from the community and the association, I've been able to become the woman I want to become within this community. So from a health perspective, digestive systems improved massively. I got some great muscle gains that I'm proud of, but what's great is I'm not smashing myself in the gym 7 days a week. I literally am in there 2 or 3 times a week and just exercising out of pure passion for it. I don't need to completely smash my body anymore, which is amazing. More energy than ever before. I feel better now than I did when I was 16, 17, 18. I'm 29 now. And I feel great. And I feel confident in the nutrition of what it's going to do from a health perspective for me long term and what it does for others long term. And that's just awesome. Like, just to have that certainty, that clarity, and that belief in the nutrition from my own experience was a huge win. And that was the first thing that happened. My partner Lee, like I shared, he used to have a background in carpentry. That's him on the left there. He ran his own company. And when we met, we started to combine our goals, our personal goals in life together. And those goals weren't extraordinary. They were sort of your average, typical goals, like move out of home, financial independence. But we also had that entrepreneurial itch of just wanting to live a lifestyle that we loved. We wanted choices. We wanted to be able to travel when we wanted, spend time with great people, and we wanted to remove any limits. We both hated working for a boss, and we just loved trying new things and exploring and doing different things. So we hit a bit of a turn when Lee injured his back through carpentry. He was unable to work and he had to let go of his carpentry business. And we were only about 6 to 8 months into dating at this stage. And that initial kind of honeymoon period of like, this is the guy and we're going to live this awesome life kind of went to a bit of a halt because, he had to refine what he was going to do from a career. I was still working as a personal trainer at the time. And I suggested whilst he was sort of recovering from his injury that he join me in the industry. So we wound up working in business together, trying to make that personal training business that I showed you the photo of earlier work. So we really had at it. We invested thousands of dollars into business coaching because we realized that doing it on our own wasn't possible. And so we've been there. We've been there in traditional business where, we've spent over $35,000 a year on seminars and courses to upskill ourselves to try and make our business work. And sure, it did help. Getting access to mentors like that was amazing. And it did help us restructure our traditional business. But no matter what we did, even 3 years on to really trying to get that business off the ground, we weren't profiting anywhere near enough to become financially independent. Our expenses were going higher every time our business grew. And although the perception was that it was going great, really behind the scenes, we were still 10 years behind where we actually wanted to be if we were forecasting, how we're going to get there. So it was that crossroad that we were both really curious, Lee probably more so than me. And, we just kept going because I guess we didn't know anything else. We just thought if we just keep working hard at this, something's got to give. It's got to work itself out somewhere. And then at one particular day, we happened to be sitting at a business building workshop. And I remember it like it was yesterday. The seminar was happening and I was sitting next to this woman, and I turned my head slightly to the left, and she had this journal and it had a Herbalife leaf on it, a Herbalife branded leaf. And it was Emily Revere. And we met Mark and Emily, who introduced us to Herbalife Nutrition. And sorry, there's these results there. And they introduced us to Herbalife Nutrition purely out of our curiosity. We just simply asked a simple question, and it was, what's that? I remember nudging Lee going, oh, it's Herbalife. They're going to try and sell you some products, or they're going to try and, don't ask too many questions. But if anyone knows my partner, you ask him to not do something, he'll go and do it anyway. So that's Leroy. So, we ended up in that meeting because of that curiosity. Really simple. And I think there's a huge lesson in that, because, if you're looking for an Amy and Lee in your business, or you're looking for someone that wants to get to the millionaire team in your business, it was just a simple invitation to come take a look at the time. And we were curious. Like, that really was what started our journey. And I think there's huge, the genius of what we do is in the simplicity. And I'm going to talk a lot about that tonight. But that was how our journey started. And this is what we do every day. We unlock that simple invitation for people out there to come take a look. And what we were able to do from that meeting was look, hear, feel, and connect to what was going on. And not everything connected with me. There was some testimonials that I didn't relate to. I was quite curious how people from no fitness background were making more money than me, that's for sure. I was slightly pissed off at the same time. And it got me asking some questions. So not everything in my first meeting resonated, but the questions were certainly ticking and I wanted answers. So we were asking the right questions. We asked, how does this work? What do we do? How do you get paid? We started asking those questions. And the best thing Mark and Em did for us at that point was said, guys, you got to get on the products. Once you feel good with the products and hang around the community, let's find out what you want. And we'll show you how this thing can work. We'll work out your goals and we can show you a business plan moving forward. And they kept it really simple for us. So we went and did that. I didn't have a lot of time because I still had my traditional business, but part-time we tried the nutrition and we felt great. We shared it with people around us because of how easy it was to talk about, because we felt good. And I just remember the first few people I helped get on the nutrition was my family, my mum, my sister, my dad. I basically told them, I said, guys, I'm trying this new thing. You've got to give it a go. Let me know what you think. That was, it's not the invitation I would use now, but that was how simple it was. You know what I mean? Like sometimes maybe that's the secret, is in the simplicity. So my confidence and my excitement was high, and my family got on board just to try the nutrition. A few people I knew tried the nutrition with me. And their positive experience gave me confidence and belief that I could do this. So from there, I was confident when the plan was about.
Give me the program. Where you been, mate?
I'll just mute you guys. There we go. Good. I'm great, mate. And then, so with that confidence and certainty, which again was a crucial part of my experience, gave me confidence to start to look at the business properly. And getting to supervisor then became my focus. So I could get into the trainings and get the knowledge and get trained on this business fully. So what I'm going to share with you tonight is the key attitude and action shifts that we made to unlock the marketing plan for us. So tune into this, and I know that not everything will be relevant to every one of you on this call, but take the notes and just apply it to where you are. If you're a brand new member, just listen to the parts that really are about what you're looking for right now. If you're a current supervisor or further up in the marketing plan, then just take what's relevant to you. But I'll do my best. So every time that we have wanted to make some progress within this business, we've either hit a point of enough is enough, where we've been frustrated by where we are, or we've had enough desire and drive to chase the next goal. Personally, it's been more often the enough is enough than the desire. I'm trying to get better at staying in that state of hunger myself without hitting some sort of pain. But enough was enough. You know, this traditional business that I had, underneath that was a girl who was exhausted, frustrated, had no financial progress for the work she was putting in. I had digestive issues. I was tired. I had mood issues. You know, I just wasn't the best version of myself because I was literally burning the candle at both ends, and people thought I was successful. My enough moment happened not because I discovered it, but it was kind of forced upon me. We had 5 contracted trainers working for us in the gym as our contractors. They decided to run their own business, but the way they went about leaving was poaching our client base at the same time. So that was like a stab in the gut moment, but it forced me to stop and realize where I was at in my career and in my business, and it wasn't a good spot. Thankfully, I had registered with Herbalife Nutrition and I had some business starting because it became that safety net for me. It was like that vehicle, Herbalife Nutrition, I could trust it. I couldn't trust this industry anymore based on what it was giving back, and I realized it wasn't giving me what I needed, whereas the Herbalife business was giving me so much. It was giving me health, it was giving me community, it was giving me mentors, which I didn't have to pay for. You know, that thousands of dollars I used to pay for in the past for business coaching didn't exist here. I could have access to great people just by the association and going to the events. It was just insane. So I hit that enough moment. And then together, Lee and I had enough of where we were at financially. This is a photo of us on the Maribyrnong River before we moved into our apartment together, before the building was even built. We went for a walk one day. You can see how tired we look. We were involved with Herbalife Nutrition at that point, but we hadn't actually locked into our goal until this day. We sat there and we were so upset by the fact that we were still living at home with our parents and unable to financially support ourselves, that we just looked at each other and we were like, we've just got to do this. Like, no matter what, we've just got to actually do this. And I don't know if any of you have had moments in your life like that, where it's just like, enough. Like, I want more. I know I can create more. I can give more. I deserve more. And it wasn't about anything selfish. It was just the typical, like, come on, let's get going. You know, I didn't want to still be living at home with my parents at age 30. I didn't want to have to scrape around for extra cash. I didn't want to watch my bank balance. So we made that decision. This is a photo of us setting a goal. It's a Japanese ritual here, so don't worry about that. It's just something personal that we do to set some goals. Very relevant to the guest speaker we have for the Success Summit, actually. But we set the goal, and then that disgust, that disappointment turned into inspiration, because we had a plan, we had a solution. Before, in the past, when we were frustrated with our finances or frustrated with where we're at, we didn't have the solution. But we had Herbalife this time. We had a platform where, you know, there was answers, there was a way out. So we set the goal with this excitement that, all right, we're ready. And this can be that day for you now if you have had enough, or if you just decide that you want more for yourself, because no one can want that for you. That's my biggest tip. You know, no one can ask you to do more. No one can push you. They might temporarily, but you have to want it for yourself. You have to dig deep to find out what you're looking for. And if you've found that and you're happy where you are, great. But, you know, one thing I've learned from being around is you can push the limits. You can dream bigger and you can play the what if game, you know. And here in Australia, to be honest, I believe a lot of us have to play that game because we can get by here. And it's great. Very grateful for that. We're in a lucky country. But just getting by wasn't what I wanted. We wanted more. And it wasn't about just the physical things. I'll share some of our reasons why later. It was about abundance. So once we set our goal, we got very clear what kind of business we needed to build and where we needed to sit on the marketing plan. So it started by getting the supervisor. It then went to focusing on Active World Team for us, and then duplicating Active World Team to advance ourselves to the Millionaire Team. And I'm going to share that with you. So some of the shifts, if I'm just breaking it down to some bite-sized pieces for you guys tonight on the call, is number one is purpose. Deciding what you want, but most importantly, deciding what you want it for. And getting very clear on what kind of business you're building. And I don't know if anyone's seen the movie, the name of it's just slipped my mind. It's the McDonald's movie. If anyone can unmute themselves, you probably can't now, but I've forgotten it, but basically realizing what sort of business you're in. Anyway, I've forgotten the name of the movie. I'll remember it later. And for example, we obviously all can retell the products. Let me check the comments. Maybe someone remembered no, not that one, not Super Size Me. It's the business one about the founder. There we go. That was the name of the movie, The Founder. There we go. The founder, you know, when he realizes that he's not actually in the hamburger business, he's in the property business, he's in real estate. Similar to Herbalife, like we have retail as a way we can retail. We earn wholesale, but we can also earn royalties. Now, I needed retail and I needed wholesale, and I still need that type of business today because it's cash flow and it's great. Royalties was a promise of the future beyond 1, 2, 3 years from now. So once I understood that we were actually in the game of building a royalty business, I decided that was the type of business I needed to build as a purpose, as an intention. So it wasn't about, like, for example, if you think about McDonald's and the founder, they still do the hamburger thing and they still do the customer thing, but they're actually in the retail business, in the real estate business. And that is a big game. Us in Herbalife, very similar. We have a great product. We service customers. We can help members and consumers, but we are in a royalty-driven industry. And if you're willing, if your goals match that, then you can align your purpose with that kind of business. And that's a choice, and that has to be geared by what you want. Because it's okay if you just want to make some part-time income or some casual income, great. But the freedom and the royalty income and the big income of upward of $5,000, $15,000 a month or beyond, that comes from building that royalty-driven business. So my question to you guys is, what's your purpose? What do you want? What do you want it for? And get really clear on what kind of business that you're building. This is what we did. Number 2, we took personal responsibility. The moment we got into Herbalife, I'll admit I was a little bit broken from my previous hang-ups in business. My confidence was low, and I was very dependent on the mentorship and the community and the events and everything that was already set up for me. This is the cool thing. You start in this business, and it's almost like the machine's already built. You don't have to build it. If anyone started a business before themselves, you have to start the thing from ground floor up. You know, you don't have a building to go to. You don't have anything. Whereas Herbalife's been around for 37 years. There's already a system and a support network in place. I became quite dependent on that. And, I lost personal responsibility that actually I'm an independent Herbalife member. I'm actually the one that's responsible for building this thing. And, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So we had to burn the blame list. I think I have a photo of our blame list here. This is my blame list. And it could have gone longer, here we go. Oh, I had a failed business, or I need to spend time with family, or I've got a holiday coming up. It's Lee's fault. I need balance in my life. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to do it my way. These were all the things I wrote down because they were the thoughts I used to have that were stopping me from actually locking into my next goal. So this was like a big excuse list. So I dropped that. I wrote it all out. I burnt it up and threw it out. So I took personal responsibility. Shaping my attitude came next. It was really about having a positive outlook of where I was, even though I wasn't happy with where I was. It was about what's the best I can make out of this situation? What's the best lessons I can learn? What's the best thing I could do right now? And take responsibility for my actions. So, and then really it's quite a refreshing, this number 2, this shift that we made to lock into our next pin was very refreshing because it was like the truth was out for us. It didn't mean that everyone needed to know where we're at. We were just honest with ourselves to then go, right, we're open to receiving some lessons. And how timely. We have the Success Summit coming up where we're going to be trained and mentored by someone who has built an incredible business within this, within Herbalife. And if we go there, if we show up there open to learn and grow, that was how I started showing up to the events because I had let go of my blame list. I had no barriers blocking me anymore. So this was quite a refreshing one. Then thirdly, we got really clear on our job. So simple. We all use the nutrition. We use the products, obviously, consistently, and massively. So we checked in on that for ourselves. How well are we actually doing that ourselves? You know, amongst all the stuff that was happening on in life, that was it was interesting how everything else slipped. So number one was use the products. We then focused on the one job that we can control, which was our invitations, which then caused us to build more clients and attract more key people, and using the events. So that job has never left us. The last 4 years, we still do that today. It's so simple. And I think the biggest challenge we've had, see how it says get clear on the job? I have to sometimes reread this just to remind myself how simple it is, because in a week I can already overcomplicate it. You know, after I read this, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what we do. And then a day happens, and I'm like, hang on, you know, how did that get so complicated? Let's just go back to reminding myself that all we do is have to invite. How many invites did I do today? How many people did I speak to today? You know, all the other stuff is a distraction, a story, a noise, you know, frequency on the radio. So if we strip it right back, regardless of how you feel on a particular day, if you're stressed, tired, angry, lots of stuff can happen to us. We can be high, we can be low. Coming back to clarity gives you confidence. So clarity gives you confidence. So focus on the clarity of how simple this job really, really is. And then, you know, within the job, when we're inviting, how do you get an invitation? Well, we have to talk to people. And this is just 3 things I'm talking to people. We're going to cover it off. I'm going to share with you tonight is that we talk to people, and this is what I've learned, that we need to talk to people with some intention. It's not just having a conversation and waiting for people to ask us. When you're serious about building the business, you've got to build the business. You've got to be intentional behind your talking. And that doesn't mean selling. That doesn't mean convincing. It just means being intentional. Know what you're looking for. Ask great questions, which leads to prospecting. So I'm going to be sharing some examples with you tonight. So talking to people, just know that we've all been talking to people since we were about maybe 3 or 4 years old. And I'm pretty sure we all learned our ABCs, and then we all said hi one day, or mum and dad, and then we started talking. So we all talk. But you know, a great way, if you're doing it intentionally, is just to remind yourself you already know how to do it, and you just need to do more of it. So talking to people, in my opinion, is not about us. It's about the person. It's about being interested in them. So when I'm talking to people, it's focusing on who they are, what I'm curious about them. I'm like, I wonder who this person really is, what's happened in their life. These are just, I don't say this, but this is what's running through my head. This is the state at which you are talking to people. It's not an opportunity to talk about yourself. And that's what I've learned, because the more I used to speak about myself, the less I'd be able to connect with somebody. So talking to people is about connection. And the best way to connect, guys, people just want to be heard. So we actually have the easy job. We just get to actually listen. They've got the hard job. They're the ones that actually have to talk more to us. So we talk enough to get someone talking, then we listen. And if you listen when you're talking to somebody, you're going to attract a client. You're going to get a new member. You're going to find a team member in that conversation, because they're going to share with you some things that are going to be relevant for you to then give an invitation. And that's prospecting. Talking to people. Prospecting is seeing enough of the right people at the right time to share your message. I'll give you an example. Queenstown vacation. We just got back from it not too long ago. I decided we had heaps of free time. So when you qualify for a vacation one day, you are literally given an all expenses paid vacation by the company. And I had heaps of free time. And one particular day I decided to go and do my job, go and talk to people. But I wasn't like, okay, pen and paper out, ready to do some business. It was just, I'm going to go for a walk. And I started to walk into places where I knew the people I want to hang out with would be hanging out, like health food cafes or near the park. I just started wandering around, and Queenstown's a great place to do that. Everyone's active and healthy there. But I walked into a salad bar. I needed to get some lunch anyway. The guy that serves me the salad gives me this incredible, this is a true story, and it happened only a couple of weeks ago, true story, gives me this beautiful explanation of the salad I'm about to purchase for my lunch. And I said to him, Pedro, that was the most detailed description of this salad I'm going to get. Are you the owner of this place? And he said, no, I'm the front of house, but I love my job. It's the reason I'm in New Zealand, because he's from Brazil. So he's obviously there on a working visa. And then I asked him another question. I'm like, that's amazing. Where are you from? Found out he's from Brazil. So I'm asking him questions. This is the talking to people part and the prospecting. Where are you from? And then I asked, well, what's your background outside of the cafe? Did you work in hospitality back in Brazil? He goes, no, I was a personal trainer. So I see how I'm starting to get some key insights. Now I'm starting to find out that, okay, his background is in health. So I know he has some health interest. Green light for me. He's obviously living in New Zealand on a visa. That takes some courage to change countries. I kept asking him some questions, find out he also has a military background, and he's enthusiastic. His energy is really good. I keep asking him some questions. I'm like, so do you have a partner? Like, are you guys here together? His partner works there as well. I get to know Pedro, and that was me prospecting him. I wasn't selling. It was easy because it was actually just a really cool, fun, comfortable conversation. Now, the invitation can then follow if you have intention behind it. I'm not just going to blanket invite everybody because I end up with I never prejudge, but I'd like to know that the person at least is a person that is health, has some sort of interest. There has to be a green light for me to give an invitation. Because I hate rejection. So I ask questions and then I give an invitation. The questions lead me to the green light, which tells me this person is the right person. I'm not sure if it's the right time. I also don't know what they're going to enjoy from what we do, but they seem like the kind of person I want to actually introduce to what we do. So based on his answers to me, to my comfortable, easy questions, I said, Pedro, would you like to stay connected on Facebook? We're working on a few projects at the moment. I'd love to share them with you. And he goes, sure. Times just to go in with an invitation. And we've got an opportunity to show you what we do, you know, whether it's an online or some form of presentation where somebody else isn't speaking. That could be you and your upline. That could be you and your open house or your online open house meetings or whatever event you have access to share some stories and talk about what you guys are doing. That's all I invited him to see. He saw that and he made a decision to say yes. Now, he could have said no, and he could have said, I'm not too sure. But he said yes. So I proceeded to then, that invitation led into him going through the steps of getting started, and then the recruitment started. I want to find out if Pedro is someone I can work with. And at any point in that process, he may have stopped at just trying the products and loving that, and that might have been the end of the day. But right now, I know he's registered, he's on his shake, and he's loving it. And we're starting to get to know his goals and what Pedro wants for his future. So is that coming across clear, guys? Like that's the job, right? So simplicity, you know, salad bar, comfortable conversation, invitation, here's some stories. He said yes. Now on the flip side, I've also had people I've met before that I don't know that have said no, and it's always no problem. And there's some that said yes to the opportunity, but they've just become my clients. So we still build that balanced business. So prospecting is everywhere. And then on another side, like how well do you know your circle of influence and the people that you love and care about? You know, I'll think about, you know, one of our frontline global expansion team members, Bianca and Anthony Losciavo. They're now earning between $6,000 to $7,000 a month. It's enabled Bianca to stay home full-time with her 2 baby girls. If I think back to how I found Bianca, we were friends at school. She needed to lose some baby weight, and we got chatting, and I heard her frustration of how unhappy she was with her physical self. She wanted to actually improve her health. So I invited her to come and take a look at what we do. So she was the right person. She was looking for some health results. Great. I invited her to come and take a look. She happened to bring her husband, and through the presentation, they heard some product and business results. They happened to say, hey, how do you earn additional income in this? You know, this might be something we will do. And it was more Anthony at that stage. So if I think back to what did I do to actually build that business, I just gave a really simple invitation to a presentation. They decided what they wanted, and then we worked with them in accordance to their goals and what they wanted to do. So that's a couple of examples. Are the examples good, guys? This is sort of what you are wanting? Yep. If I then think to another example or more later success story, Sue and Daniel Rizzo. So they're our frontline active world team members. They've got a family they've got 4 kids, a traditional business. And Lee and Daniel used to train in the gym together. So while I'm sharing these examples, guys, I want you to spark your thoughts to who you know and how simple this could be to reach out to them. Now, Lee was asking Daniel, to come down and check out what we were doing for a good 2 years. And he said, no, not the right time, not the right time. And now that we know his true story, which I won't share tonight, it wasn't the right time those times. And you guys will get to hear that one day. But there was one moment where we had locked into our plan and we just didn't want to give up on him. He's a COI, close circle of influence, someone we like, someone we trust. And we gave one more invitation out through a simple text message. Said, Dan, it's a new year. I think it was around the end of the year. New Year's coming. Now's the best time. We'd love to show you what we're actually doing. And he actually said, yeah, mate, absolutely. Sounds good. It's time. My wife needs to get in shape. That's literally what he said. We invited them down to take a look. They went on their health journey for a period of time. And from being around the presentations, they ended up seeing more for themselves. They saw a vision. They helped their first person get a great health result. They earned their first little bit of income, and it sparked a different venture for them. But if I think, what did we do to cause that? It was a simple invitation to a presentation. Yeah. So talking to people is easy. We do it all the time. Prospecting is just listening to other people talk about themselves. And then when you get that green light, we just give an invitation to a presentation. That's all we've ever done. And then recruiting comes from really focusing on what somebody wants. So guys, when we were focusing on locking into our plan, we set audacious goals within this business. This plan, we do not hit this every month. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And, it's a challenging one for us. I find it a little bit challenging, but it's not a limit. And so for some of you, this may not be the plan you chase right now, but when we were Get Team, Chasing Millionaire Team, this is what we focused on as a goal. We didn't hit it every month. We didn't achieve it every month, but we had to have a game plan. So, after this call, what's your game plan? What are you focusing on? For us, it was always about having new people getting started, focusing on having 2 to 4 people intentionally getting involved with the business every single month, finding those new key people, and having a focus on active well team as a focus of developing leadership. And our attitude around this plan was not on these numbers. It was like, cool, that's our gauge. We'll check in on that, how we're going at the start of the month, the middle of the month, the end of the month. But the month was spent doing the work and in the activity, just like I shared with Pedro, just like I shared with Bianca and Anthony, just like I shared with Daniel. It was spent doing the work of who can we talk to? How can we connect with them? What could we be doing to talk to more people? How can we reach more people? So our attitude was in the activity, but we had a bit of a gauge of, all right, let's shoot for something big. Let's go for it. And so this was where our business was at. For those that aren't yet Get Team, don't worry if this doesn't make sense, but we were earning that $5,000 to $15,000 a month. We were actually on the lower end of that because we had no duplication at the time. We were a Get Team business with some Well Team and supervisors, and we set that plan to go change that situation. So our accountability every single day, and this is what we can do between now and the Success Summit, between now and Spectacular, guys, is we can focus on what we can control. For me, at every time I've locked in, it's been who are my new prospects that I can speak to per day. That might be people you're talking to about your activities, like your fit clubs or your whatever activities or tactics you're using, or it could be people you know, or it could be people you meet and then you're inviting into meetings. Whatever you're doing, it's just people. Prospecting is people. And then invitations is building that bridge for that person to get into an environment where you're not speaking, they hear some product and business testimonials. So we were gauging how many new prospects, new invitations per day we were doing, so we weren't faking ourselves out with our work plan. And then we were looking at who's chasing supervisor, who has that goal, and how many new supervisors are we helping qualify each month with people. And we worked that event to event. Right now we are doing this from into the Success Summit and then into the Spectacular. The Success Summit will be where we connect everybody that we've worked to help get there. Number one, we're going. And then our group, our clients, our members, everybody that has the intention to learn more about the business or lock into the business wherever they're at. If they've got that business intention, they're going to be at the Success Summit hearing from Kim Bromer, which is then going to help us work from the Success Summit to the February Spectacular. So that's our accountability. when we did this back in 2015, 16, this is the work we did to change pins in the marketing plan twice. So we went from the Get team to Get to 5 and the Get to 5 to Millionaire team. And I did that in my first 2 years of being registered in the business. Now, that's not to impress you, but I locked into the working plan and I didn't take my eyes off it. So this just represents the run and the time period, and it happened. So the duplication part, this will come when you have key people in the events who have goals. They want more. So it's about them. It's about their intention. Like Bianca and Anthony, it was about their goals, their dreams, what they wanted. Sue and Dan, same thing. With Pedro recently, it's about his goals and what he wants to create. So duplication comes when you find out what somebody wants, so what's their goal, and you work in accordance with what people say they want, but what they do about what they want. So we're really clear that a lot of people say yes to the opportunity, because who doesn't want to become financially free, right? I haven't had anyone say no, but not everyone's going to do it. So we get the no's all the time, and that's cool. Like, we'll get people that say they want it, but then they don't do anything about what they want. But we don't put the hard word on them, because that's up to them. We still love them no matter what. And, you know, this business is for everyone based on what they want and what they do. So, but we need to do enough to find enough of the right people. And then the duplication is simple. We show them how to duplicate a simple invitation like I just showed you, and we show them, you know, we're working with them. So then, you know, the working the marketing plan, guys, everybody on this call right now can literally make the progress they want between now and Spectacular if you lock into the work that you can do between these two events, the Success Summit and the Adelaide Spectacular. If you're not yet a supervisor, you can work a plan this month, just like I did, to help get some people invited into your meetings, into your activities, into your events, find out what they want. You're going to get some clients. The guys are going to help you do that. And you're going to build some team members if they have the intention, they see more for themselves. And you can get to supervisor very quickly. The key is people. Active World Team is simple. You just show, once you're a supervisor, you show 2 to 4 people what you've already done. So there's 2 missions in the business. These pins, for me, don't mean anything unless your personal goals are invested in them. So I'll share with you my why and why moving up the marketing plan means a lot to me. But supervisor, you can do it in 1 month with people. And you can do it. You can get to Active World Team. The fastest way is 4 months. That's the plan. Now, I didn't do that. I qualified Active World Team in 9 months when I went. But I knew that I could have done it in 4 months. I just tried my best and I failed at it, but I was happy with 9 months. Like, this is the way it rolls. It's like you get given the plan, you do your best, and you land where you land, but you just give it your best shot. So we have 2 plans. We fail at them massively, but we work hard at them, if that makes sense. And we make progress. You know, I guarantee you, every one of us has failed to get to where we are today. I shared this in a session the other day with our group for TGIM. You know, I tried many ways of getting healthy before, and they hadn't worked for me. So I failed at them until I found Herbalife. I'd tried other businesses before, as you heard earlier, and I failed at them. But now I'm successful in Herbalife. So I've failed my way to find where I need to be. So you can kind of fail your way up this business as well, and it's okay. In traditional business or in your job, you can't fail at what you do because you will get fired. Whereas here, no one's going to fire you. You can actually make some mistakes. Like, how cool is that? So, yeah, great. So, and this was our business after the duplication happened. So obviously we had Bianca and Anthony and Katie and Ryan and Sue and Dan, and so 4 Frontline Active World Team Go, 2 went on to Go Tab, and we had the duplication. And that wasn't from, we didn't help cause them to be successful. We locked into our personal frontline plan first. And then the key was personal development. So I'm just going to check how I'm going for time here because I want to show you guys. Perfect. How are we doing? Good? Great. So personal development. Cool. Thank you. You know, throughout that whole part, if I just go back for a second, because I know I've been talking for a while, everything started from enough was enough and being ready for change, dropping down the story and just going, show me the way, basically. Reminding myself that the job is very, very simple. And regardless of how I felt, I shaped my attitude to just get to work. Now, the numbers, they're soulless without a goal and without your heartbeat invested into them. They come as a result of you chasing something, what you're looking for. And in the process of chasing a goal, you grow, because that goal is something you don't have. So you have to become something to get what you want. So between now and the Success Summit as a short-term focus, and then between the Success Summit and Spectacular, if you lock in, guys, and just have at it, you will grow, because the work you do will cause you to grow. You'll have some hang-ups. You'll have some challenges pop up that you'll have to overcome. It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. And the degree to which you're prepared to do it, now you're in the game. You know, the people that are moving up the marketing plan are having more challenges than they are feeling comfortable. Like, we're feeling uncomfortable because we're throwing ourselves we're on the field. Be on the field. It's so much more fun. You know, think about, I was at an extravaganza once, which is a major global event for those that haven't heard of that before. And one of the chairman's club got up and shared, you can choose to be on the sideline and cheering everybody on, or you can be on the field. There's nothing more exciting than being on the field. And that's where you grow the most. It's where you get the best lessons. So I've shared with you some of the numbers in the marketing plan, but this is why I do what I do. I'm 29 years old. I've got a lot of life left in me. On the left, there is Lee's family, his brother, our sister-in-law, his parents. On the right is my family and my sister. And I think they have worked their butt off to give us and me the lifestyle, a comfortable upbringing. I had very little external challenges in my life. And when I was able to start working and building a career, I wanted to, number one, show that I could actually create something. But then secondly, I look at how hard they've worked, and Herbalife's helped me realize how hard my parents have worked in traditional business. They're approaching their 60s now, and they're still working full time, picking up the wheelbarrow, putting it back down again. Mum's a project manager for a development company. I want to be in a position. She's not involved in the business. She is a supervisor. She loves the products, and she's my biggest fan. But I would love to get to a position in the marketing plan where I could give her something that creates some more freedom for her, whether that's time that allows her to leave her job. It just gives us that chance to go, I want to be able to take my parents on a holiday one day and just pay for it all and just say thank you. I want to be present and be able to go and see them any day that I want to see them. I don't want to wait till Saturday, Sunday after the 9 to 5 finishes to go and see my parents and my family. I want to go see them whenever I want. Time that they didn't have with us as kids because they were working 70, 80 hours a week, which I'm grateful for, but there's a different way. I want to give them the time and the presence. That's why the marketing plan represents a lot for me. My grandparents, with the time that they have now in their 80s, I want to be able to pop in whenever I want so they can see me. I don't want to have to be the one that says, I'm a little bit busy, I'll see you next week. I don't want to be that person. Herbalife enables me to build that career, that opportunity around time freedom. That's why I do what I do. On the right there is one that's very, very close to me. This is my uncle from USA who's recently passed. And he lives in San Francisco. And if it wasn't for Herbalife Nutrition, because I'd not made the trips up to the USA. Number one, I couldn't have afforded it before. And number two, it just wasn't on our schedule. Like with work, I couldn't get the time off. So we just wouldn't go to the US. But turns out, Herbalife's in every country and we can go to the extravaganzas there and we choose to go to the US ones. And it enabled me to spend 2 trips with quality time with my uncle when he was battling with cancer. And time that this company gives you, experiences they give you, and choices that it can give you, that's what I do it for. It takes work, but I would not give that up for a second. I would hate it if I had to be in a situation where I couldn't make that decision. This is just me sharing with you guys straight up. Behind that marketing plan, behind that work plan is my reasons why that get me up out of bed every morning. And our community, these are the gang that we get to attract into our business. I shared Bianca and Anthony on the bottom right there, a simple invitation to a presentation, but I look at them building their family and Bianca being able to be home with her kids full time. And I think I want to go through that experience of helping someone feel and experience that again, because that is so fulfilling. You know, we have that opportunity in this business when you're talking about building a team. You get that chance to give somebody that ticket to freedom. And it's not our responsibility to build their success, but Herbalife's got the game plan if you show it to them. So, you know, the vacation that the guys qualified for recently, it was seeing the kids' faces light up when the company had thought about them. You know, this is why we do what we do. And the squad we get to lock arms with every single day. And culture comes when we all lock into our goals, guys, independent goals, and everyone's chasing their goals independently as a unit. That's where it goes crazy. And at the Success Summit, that's our chance to come together. And you're going to be in a room of goal-driven, hungry people. The energy is going to be crazy. And you're going to walk out of there ready, certain, and able to go and chase your goals, knowing that you're not alone, number one. You're independent to do it, and you're responsible for it, but you're not alone. Like we're actually working. Australia is working as a unit. Victoria will be coming together on that weekend. And then, of course, at the Spectacular on a national scale. And then we do it for our mentors. You know, the person that introduced you to this opportunity has given you that ticket. Forever, we are grateful for that, and we will work for that. You know, we will pay our price to make sure that we do our best. Because I think where I would be without that invitation, I'd still be a personal trainer, or I'd be in a job that I didn't enjoy so I could financially get a house and move out. But I'm not. I've achieved that goal of buying my house. But I have a passion project that it feels like that's like forever. I'll never give it up. You know, it's so much more than a shake. And obviously for our relationship, you know, Lee and I, the experiences we've been able to have, the places we've been able to go from locking into our goals and saying, look, let's just do it. The job is so simple. It's the same for everyone. Invitations, talk to people, find out what they want. We find out people's goals and we help them with the health and business opportunity. And we have the trainings there for us to teach them how. We don't have to actually, you know, be in the way of that. You know, it's just incredible. So what's your why and what's going to fuel you between now and the Success Summit? I'm going to assume you already have your ticket, because I've spent $30,000 a year before on personal development and business coaching for like $55 or whatever it costs, or $75 for a couple, to be at a full day training with a multi-millionaire. You know, who's got some lessons and some history in this business. You know, Kim is a dear mentor to me. He got into my heart when I first met him at a major event, and he's going to pour it on. He's going to literally give you guys everything that you need to get the confidence, the certainty, and the belief that you can build a solid business for yourself within this. Whatever your goal might be, if that's part-time income, great. If that's career level income, great. If that's just loving the community and hanging around, great. But just think about your why tonight, and, you know, definitely chase that leading into the Success Summit. And this is what a statement that I live by, and every single day, is that life is that collection of experiences and their intensities. And every time you reach a new level, there's always more. There's always a higher level you can chase, a higher experience, whether that be through a physical, tangible goal, or an event, or just the fulfillment you get from helping somebody. You can chase that in Herbalife. You know, you can't guarantee that in your job description, in my opinion, but you can definitely guarantee that if you actually jump into the Herbalife game. So, guys, that's it for me. I think I have, yes, right on an hour there. From here, if there's anything else I could say, it's like, make sure you've got your tickets so that you can actually see this thing for yourself. You know, the Success Summit, and then the Adelaide Spectacular, the tickets are open. You know, you have to see the company. You have to see it for yourself, because I can't deliver that through this screen. Your mentor can't tell you what it's actually about verbally. They can try, and we do try. Sometimes it's like, come on, like, you've just got to be there. You just have to be there. And I promise you, if anyone wants to come up to me in the Adelaide Spectacular or at Success Summit halfway through and just say, like, are you glad you came? I'm open to hearing your answer to that, because I guarantee you it's going to be a yes, I'm glad I came. Kim never disappoints. And Dan Waldron at the Spectacular, guys, you're going to be with someone that's been directly with the founder of Herbalife Nutrition. So we'll see you there. Get your ticket tonight. and definitely get back to the person that invited you so you can really just refine what you've heard tonight to what's relevant and your next step. So love you guys, and thanks for having me on the call.
Wow, thank you, Miss Amy. That was incredible. So you got me tingling again. That's fantastic. So I've just written a big list of names that I'm going to go and attack tomorrow. So I hope you all did the same, and I hope you felt what I just felt, because I told you, you know, she shook Adelaide in February, and she's just shook us tonight. So guys, from the bottom of my heart, Amy, thank you very much. Have a safe flight with Lee tomorrow. We'll see you very soon. And guys in Melbourne, go wrap your arms around Amy at the Success Summit and just tell her why you think she was correct. All right? So thank you, Amy. Everyone, just unmute yourself. Just give her a big round of applause. Hang on a sec. Unmute all. Ready, set, let's go. Big thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Legendary.
Thanks, Amy. Love you very much, love. Bye from us.